Howdy again, it's Mr. Pete, your YouTube shop teacher, and it's early in the morning, it's about 8:30, and guess where I'm going? I got my wife already in the car, and I'm going to meet my son-in-law there, and we're going to, of course, another auction, but it's only about 5 miles from here, so it isn't much of a drive. I think I would like to leave the checkbook at home so I don't buy anything, because just last week is when I went to the big Rust Festival. You all watched that video, but anyway, it's mainly woodworking equipment, and I don't know what all, but I just like to go and explore, check things out, meet some friends, and have a hot dog and things like that. So travel along with me, and I will take footage of the auction wagons and various things like that, and that will not have narration, so you just got to bear with it. But if I do buy something, I'm going to try to film it as the auctioneer chants, so you get an idea of what I'm paying and what it's like to be at an auction. Now, if you're sick of my auction videos, just turn it off right now, because it's pretty much the same old insane thing, but I like doing it.
Folks, we're ready to start here in about 5 minutes, so if you're just coming in, your buyer's numbers are right in the office trailer in the driveway under the shade trees there. Restrooms are on the back end of that trailer. Lunch stand is out in the front yard out there. Chuck Wagon Rocking K Concessions has got their lunch stand out there, so we will be starting here under this big oak tree in about 5 minutes. So if you need to get a number, why there is restrooms or lunch stand, why we're going to open up the remarks here in about 5 minutes, and shortly after that the second auction ring will start in the front yard with those 3 wagons of mainly,
a lot of pain. It just was like a little burning going across my chest. So. Okay, we'll talk to you later.
All right, Bill.
Okay. Did you find what I was looking for yet? Okay. How's it ride? How's it ride? Excuse me. Hey, what are you gonna buy? still sell the little ones. The one last weekend was a good one. I like that.
Where was that?
Odell.
Odell.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Old.
Assembly line doing the crafts.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they were there for quite a while back in the early 2000s. That's all they did, all these crafts.
It's not air conditioning. You know, for the worker. You know, that's one thing I thought. So this is like a business.
Yeah. Yeah. He made farm sets, grain bin. Made the grain bins, all the little, you see, got the those elevators
Really interested in that sheetrock there. Because he said, I've been frozen, it's ridiculous.
Don't think nothing less than $3 grand. Holy shit. Just 19 years old.
Kind of stuff he likes to live in. He's just called in. Oh, he'll be there. Corn looking good.
Yeah. I noticed yesterday I did a little mowing and got some tassels starting to shoot.
Won't be long now.
Nope.
Back to harvest time.
I told the wife as soon as you start seeing the corn come up out of the ground, summer's over.
Yeah.
The lumber is all down there.
Yeah, but Brian said the problem with that sawmill is you didn't have the
He will.
Brian said
Where is
the
some?
guy key
I
and
know,
put
I
gas
need
tanks and got running. You might have brought 7,000
Oh, I haven't.
Because they're going to start out there and start back here. But did you see?
Really? I think it was. And the two motors, it were from 3-phase to 220. I think it brought like 650. What did the other mark?
Give me a guesstimate on the age of this oak hanging tree.
50 to the bid 20. Way to get them 20 down in the front of the bill there. $10. $10, 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 20. 20 to the $20, 25. 20 to the 5 here. 20 to the 25. 5 to the $5, 25. 5 to the bid part of the bill. 20 to the 25, 25. Sold her 20 bucks, 96. 96. Hey, a nice shop vac and all the hosing. There, 10, 15. I get $10, $15, $15, $15, $20. 20 now 5, 25 now 30, 35, 35, 40, $40, but David get $40. $40, David get 35, David get $40, David get $60.
I told a story many years ago in one of my videos where there was a dope deal that went bad. The bridge has been replaced. It's called the Sandy Ford Bridge. And they were buying and selling dope. One man was wounded and then he jumped off the bridge, crawled up the ravine there, walked through this yard, and he ended up in this house wanting help. In fact, the homeowner woke up in the middle of the night and the dope fiend was sitting at his kitchen table. The door must not have been locked. So I thought that was a good story, and this house will be sold in about 2 weeks. And this is the front of the house where the crook, the bad man, the dope fiend broke in and made himself a pot of coffee. And then the sheriff came.
$1 bill. Anybody? $1 bill?
Pass it up.
Pass it up.
Hey, we got some pretty nice plywood, another stack of plywood.
$2.50. $1.
Yeah.
$2, $1, 2 there, down 2 to the bill, 2 to buy, 1 to the bill, $1, 2 to the bill. So $1, 27 per buck, 27.
Lathe.
A big old lathe, wood lathe here now. Take a look, heavy duty. Well, that's 25, 25 and enough 10, 10 of the bid 5, $5, 7 half, part of the bid 7 there, 7 $8, part of the bid 7.50, part of the bid there, 7 there, then a 7 $8, about 7 half. Shoulder's $5, 27 is your buyer. Oh, belt and disc maybe, that's right.
Nope.
There you go, belt and disc sander. Here, 10, there, then a 10, 2 and a half. Well, down for 1, 2, 1 now 3, here another 3, 4, 4 to the bid 5, part of the bid $5, $4, 5, here another part of the bid $5. So we're over here for 4, 10, 10, 5. Here another 2 and a half, 5, 2 and a half and a $5. Here 2 and a half and a 5 and a 5 of the bill, 5, baby, get $5, part of the bill. Sold her 2.50, 27 buys. Now sell that planer with a power feed. I said it right here now. All right there, $50, $20, 10. Here another 10, 10 to the bit, $10, 5. $5, baby, get $5, 2 and a half. Wait, get 5, now 5, now 7 half, and now 10, now $12 and a half, $10, 12 here, $12 and a half, about 10 to the bit, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. Sold it $10, 96, 10 to the bill, 96.
There's a little small scroll saw on orange stand here in the corner.
Scroll saw stand,
Yep.
$5 bill, 2 and a half. And
Yeah.
now 2 and a
Yep.
half here, 2 and a half, $1, 2,
Yep.
$1, you get $1,
Yes.
$2. 1 to the bill, $2 you got $1 to the bill, $2, $2
Yes.
to the bill. Sold it $1.11, $1.11.
$1. Yeah. Got a big.
Drill press right here now. There you go. A $50, 20, here another 20, 10. Then up 10, 10, 10 to the bit 5, 15, $15, $10, 15, 20, 20 to the bit now 5, 25, 30, 30 baby to get 5, 35 baby to get 35, $35. Here, $30, then 5 to the 5 to the 35. Sold for 30, 61, Jermaine, 30 bucks, 61.
What got sold?
All right. Now,
Drill press.
now, is that mounted to that table?
I don't.
All right, 61. No, the drill press is
Drill
mounted.
press is, no.
All right,
Drill
still
cabinet.
the bench top drill press. All right, get on 10, 10, get on 10, 10, 5, 5, and a minute, $5.
Yeah.
Half.
Here.
Right. Now 5, now 5, 2 and a half, get $5. Well, get them 5 here, 5 to be $5, down 5 here, 2 and a half, get $5. Silver, 250, line number 11, number 11, $2.
Yep.
Hey, get on 10, 10, get on 10,
5.
5, 7 and a half, part of it, 750, $7 and a half, $7.5, part of it, then 7, 7 and a half, $7.5 to buy, part of the bill, 750, silver, $5, 27, 27.
Well, hello again. I'm back from the auction, and actually this is the next day. I was so hot and sweaty and miserable, I decided to hold this off. And today is a beautiful day here in Illinois. We have a respite from the global warming, so I'll get a lot done. Well, it was a fun auction, and I hope you watched all the footage, and I do not always know how well the footage will be because I'm working under difficult circumstances, trying to look at stuff, trying to film, trying to avoid other people and not annoy other people. There's all kinds of noises in the background, so I do not have a lot of dialogue, but I did say a few things there, and I hope you caught it. Take careful note at the prices of some of the woodworking equipment. Now, yes, I went out there for, it's only 5 miles from the house. I wasn't going to stay more than about an hour, just look around, but then it's an addiction. So I started bidding and buying, and I didn't really buy that much, but I filmed a lot, and I think you understand by now that much of what I'm doing here revolves around creating content. Do I need any of this stuff? No. I'm 80 years old. Now, a lot of people are calling me crabby. Maybe I am. You got to be pretty thick-skinned to shoot these videos because there are some nasty people out there. Not many. Did you know that 17% of the people in this country are evil or wicked? It doesn't always show, but go on the freeway for a while, you'll see what I mean. But it's much less in my viewing audience. I'd say 5% or less of the people are bad. And I weed them out and delete them where they can't watch anymore, after a bad comment. I do read all the comments, I appreciate it. I cannot answer all of them. And I know I got carried away, so we're going to go through this stuff piece by piece and show you what I got, what I shouldn't have got. I might mention some prices, and I don't think I have a whole lot here to resell on Peat Bay. So let's dig into this. And before we begin, and I know you're thinking, quit stalling, get on with it, for crying out loud. But I sincerely hope that you watched this video where I picked the lock. Most of you did because there was already 20,000 or more views on that. And only 2 or maybe 3 people, I don't think you can read it now, but I have down here the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and nobody knew what that meant, and it doesn't matter, just 3 guys, it doesn't matter, because I do this for my own entertainment, but I now realize because of my advanced age, very few people would know what this means, and I think I got it misspelled, and I don't think it shows up in the video anyway, so the point is moot. Now let's truly unpack. All right, just set her down for a moment. Thank you, mister.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, this was the last item that I bought, and the reason it's out already is I had the car pretty well filled, and my son-in-law was there, and he put this in his car, but this is a Hegner, and it runs. I tried it, it was plugged in. I threw the lamp away, so that laying out in the yard, but pretty nice unit. It needs a new bellows here, but why would I buy this? I'm not a woodworker anymore, but I had one of these before, and I traded it to Wayne Fitch down the hi Wayne, I hope you're watching, for that Kurt Weiss. But what I wanted to use these for, because they produce such a perfect finish on the wood, was set this at an angle, and I could make foundry patterns out of wood with the draft on it, with the taper on it. So, but I've kind of given up on that. So this could go up for sale. I don't know, but these are made in Germany, so it's really a nice unit, especially considering what I paid for it. Did you hear that in the auction? Because I was filming as I was bidding. And another thing people have pointed out, the auctioneer knows your name. Well, I've known these guys for years, but the funny thing is I believe I am the only one that he ever refers to by name. And they're brothers, so they both do that, but they are great guys. I believe them to have integrity. Brian doesn't seem to object to me filming while this is going on. I hope you saw the footage where these books were on the shelf, and I bought all the books. It was either $1 or $2.50, I don't remember. But, and I left a lot of them. There were a lot of old Chilton car manuals, but look what I did get. And this is an awesome book from 1942, and it obviously was used in war training. And it has units on lathe and measurement and so on, and it looks like there's some possibilities for projects that I could do and film, even though they're nonsensical projects. So, and there were, they sold a Farmall M. Well, there's the manual. By the way, that M sold for $450, but it was pretty well scrapped. Any manuals like this, I probably will sell down at Pontiac at the Thresherman's and get a few dollars for them. And even this beat up tractor book here, there's some pretty good information in these. And the only reason I took this, I believe that there's a tractor section in there. Some of this I will throw out. Yeah, there was no one else there that had any interest at all in these books. And it was hot, so people were leaving near the end, and that always reduces prices. But here's a complete set of the Modern Shop Practice. Now, I've had several of these in the past, but this is a complete set. Some aren't in real good condition. It's the same publisher as that last big book. There's an awesome picture. So these are really good books, but people do not read anymore, so it doesn't matter. So, and I probably won't read these either, but I do use these reference materials in making videos, believe it or not. I don't know everything. I know hardly anything. You guys are a lot smarter than me. Okay, why would you buy a $1 worthless lot like this that nobody else would bid on? Because you remember in that Gardner auction that I went to a month or two ago, I hope you watched that video, I bought this Delta 1x42-inch sander, and the wheels are always bad on every Delta I've ever seen, because they're plastic wheels, but they were covered with a urethane tire, and those all disintegrated. So I'm always looking for parts. So that's why I bought this dollar lot, thinking that some of these things would be useful. We got a spite mower, just came up with that big zero turn. Those things are so noisy. So in here, this looks used, but there's I think this is from a Delta, because I replaced bearings in one. Oh, maybe they're all made the same, doesn't matter. It's scrap. So there's all kinds of bearings, but the reason I bought this is because there's wheels in there. 1, 2. I thought there was more than that. Some junk, a lot of brand new bearings. That's empty. Those are bushings, I looked at them already. Some directions there. I'm trying to hurry up so I can get through this, but some people get mad when I hurry up. Hey, Rockwell parts, but no, they're bearings. Some worthless stuff here, but down in the bottom, more Delta parts. Oh, there's another wheel. And these are die-cast zinc wheels. More bearings. But what else I found in here I thought was very interesting, and just a moment ago I showed you that Hegner scroll saw. Well, here's an order form that was in this box. I don't know why it was in there. From 1985, and the price of that exact model that I got was $859 in, 40 years ago. So that's pretty amazing. I'll sort through this. There might be some useful stuff, but if not, I'm out the dollar. Well, look at that. There's the exploded view of the Hegner in the same box. And I don't know, I just bought this at random. I can't believe that stuff was in there, because when I paid my bill in the auction truck at the end of the day, they always have spread out their manuals for the tractors and mowers and just any manuals that they had. If you purchase that item, you just help yourself to the manual. I forgot to look through those. I was in a hurry. I was hot and hungry. As I remember, this was like a $2 or $3 box. And normally, if I get a chance, and I'm not too busy at the auction, I throw a lot of stuff in the dumpster or leave it lay. Other people might want it, but I don't want that. Most of the stuff I don't want. But hey, there's, 50 blades for a handy knife. But this is what I was after. A little Jacob's chuck. I don't know, maybe it's no good. I can see that the tang has twisted. Tang, do they still make that anymore? Oh, I hated that when my mom started buying that. We refused to drink it. She had to go back to real orange juice. That's a long time ago. Well, what else is in here? So here appears to be a brand new chuck, but I don't know. Oh, it's a threaded one. I don't think it's any, a good one at all, but that's really all that was in there of any value, and even that's questionable. I only bought 3 boxes of odds and ends this time, so I got one more to go. A lot of junk there. They were selling some things in huge piles. So here's another $2 lot, and you can see I've already gone through this, and I left things out at the auction site, but even something like that is, I just had a phone call, but is Craig. Hi, Craig, Heath, but I can't talk to you now. So, all right, we got that. Some more blades. This I'll probably give it to my grandson. I got a dozen of those. And, nobody uses these anymore, do they? You know what? I got to put that in. What is it? I'll take the label off and show this in what is it. This is what I was after, though. And I had one of these before in a smaller size for splicing bandsaw blades. Although I don't really ever want to do that. My thought was always that I will make a video of it. So is there any... Oh, I don't see any silver solder in there to speak of. Oh yeah, here's the silver solder on the flux. So I might have a go of that and instructions on how to do it. But I don't really like to do that. I didn't at the high school, even though I had a welder. So that's about useless, but I've got no money in it, really. Well, I bought several cans, and some of them I left there, but I was after this because, my little hit and miss engine, if any of you watch that, I'm using white gas, so there I've got camper's fuel, but it's only about half full, even though it's sealed. And I suppose there's a minor leak in the bottom there. But this is some of the best thread cutting oil, but the problem is it stinks so bad. For 5 years when I was working at the hardware store, I threaded pipe constantly. And I hated to do it because of the smell, and it would get on my hands, and you couldn't get it off. Well, you could wash, but you couldn't get the odor off, so I must have eaten hundreds of sandwiches that my mother made with smelly, oily hands. I know I'm losing it, and I asked the ringmaster, I said, can you put this out separately? And she did. And why did I buy this? It's a parts case, Chinesium, I think it's horrible freight. The armature, obviously the cheap motor burnt out, but I bought it strictly for the wheels. Well, there's only one wheel. That means I paid $1 for that wheel, because now when I look at this wheel, I believe that the wheel is missing. That's just the bearing out of the center of the wheel. But I'm going to save the table and the platen, and anyway, it's $1. I know it's crazy, but I bought this complete sander with the motor for, I don't know, $5. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't much. one other guy did bid against me. But I was really purchasing it for the motor, but I don't know if it works. I just plugged it in now, and we'll see if it runs. It's an American-made motor. I don't see a name on the sander. It's a 1x42 without a belt, but I think it's ready to go. So me buying all those other junk parts and wheels was crazy. So again, this is unbranded, but it might be useful. Maybe I don't want to strip the motor off of it because it's a Gould, G-O-U-L-D motor with a switch right here. Let's see if it works. Whew. Well, it runs and it doesn't smell, but the belt, the V-belt, appears to be rubbing. There's no sanding belt on it, so I'll spend a little time with it, not too much. I've got so many sanders, I don't know why I bought this, but it's one of my fetishes, I guess. Well, one more item. Anybody still with me? Hey, leave a comment, please. Lots of comments. Tell your friends. Well, I bought this useless little drill press for $1 or $2. Well, why? I got plenty of drill presses, and you know, this serpentine belt here is going to be a nightmare. I don't know if it works, but the real reason I bought this was just, I'm getting ready to do a video and researching for it. I spent a lot of time buying stuff and researching, but I'm going to do a video called sensitive drill presses. So this is a little sensitive drill press, and I'll explain that all in the future. But it's kind of a neat looking little machine, isn't it? I like that casting, even if I end up throwing it out. Got a pretty good table on it, although it's peck marked. I have no intentions of removing the rust or anything like that. What do you think? Crazy? Even came with the chuck key. Well, I'm sure most of you watched that video on the cabinet of Dr. Caligari when I picked the lock and all that. So these were all of the tools that were in there, and they're all pours, thousands of dollars worth, and I'm selling it as a batch. Bidding is going on right now to my Yahoo address. This stuff will be gone. Don't ask me about it. It will be gone by the time this video is published. But I was disappointed that there were no lathe parts in there, but I was overwhelmed. This was probably the only quality stuff that was at the auction that day. And it was protected from the elements, and there were no mice in there. And yesterday at that auction, I told the auctioneer what was in there. And he was only mildly interested, because I don't think that makes any difference to a person like that, you know, whether, but they would have parted this out if that cabinet would have been unlocked. So I really lucked out on that. That's never happened to me before. So those of you that think that I get these big amazing things all the time, you are wrong. This is once in the lifetime type of thing, buying a locked cabinet that had something valuable in it. Just ask Geraldo. It's alive! It's alive! I'm not sure this meets the National Electrical Code or OSHA. I know it's scrap iron, but it actually does run. You see, I bought this motor that came with the sander as a possible replacement for this old appliance motor that was on the little Atlas. That is, if I ever do anything with this machine. So this is a Gould 1/3 horsepower motor, not capacitor start. Is it good enough for that machine? Possibly, because that little appliance motor is nothing, although it is, I believe, yeah, it's capacitor start, and that can make a big difference. Matter of fact, this would have started a lot better a few minutes ago if it was capacitor start, because it might be a real stiff old V-belt here, and things like that cause a lot of resistance and friction and all of that. I know we got some horrible backlighting, but I took the belt guard and the belt off, and yes, the motor runs fine. Do I hear a bearing howling? I might have to change a bearing in that motor. I did that one other time, remember, but I'll blow it out because you know it'll be full of dust. That should be a sealed motor, externally cooled. because this just sucks the sawdust right through it. It's crazy, crazy. By the way, most people had that answer right on Still Crazy After All These Years, written and sung by Paul Simon. And I think Art helped him in the with the record, but I believe Paul wrote it. So let me know in the comments what you would have bought. Would you have bought this, you know, for $5? Would you have bought the Hegner? Would you have bought the drill press? And we won't even talk about the smaller items because admittedly there's not much there. But oh, what I didn't show you, and I'm not going to, I bought 4 bags of fertilizer because fairly cheap, and certainly cheaper than downtown, because I want to mow more often. So I bought all kinds of high nitrogen fertilizer. Well, that's really the sum total of what I bought, but the real interest lies, I think, in the footage that I shot, because there were just a lot of interesting items in there. So again, leave comments, and you'll see more of some of this stuff later on. And I know I've been overdoing the auction videos, but I have to go to them when they are available. Now there was 2 in a row, but I'm going to separate them by time, so you're watching this one long after I went to the auction, because like, as I said, 2 weeks in a row I went, and it's overwhelming. You can't hardly move here. I got so much junk, and some of it is junk. But many of you appreciate this and enjoy vicariously going along with me on a hunt. And that's what it's all about. It's a hunt. Like, remember when you were young, you would hunt for girls. That was your main focus when you were 17 or 18, wasn't it? And you usually failed, didn't you? But I certainly did. But look what I look like. I wasn't any better when I was young. Well, this is Mr. Pete truly saying so long for now, and check out the still pictures at the end. And watch for my next video.